And Chibuzo actually came in over a year after, when we were lucky enough to get REMPRO of the African Academy of Sciences to be paying her salaries. So we virtually didn't have a secretariat. And so Chibuzo actually came in over a year after. I didn't know we had someone gossiping. Okay, so Chibuzo has come in, so we heard you. Thank you very much. So Chibuzo came in about a little over a year after, and I can assure you that the handing over is still ongoing, even at this meeting. So there will be no minutes. I want to apologize for that. Be that as it may, we have agenda presented to us. I will plead that we look at this agenda quickly and adopt it to guide this meeting. I hope everybody has a copy of the agenda. There is no minute for the. Oh, there will be for this meeting. Oh no, there will be for this meeting. I mentioned 2018. Yeah, so there will be no minutes for that. So there will be none. Ordinarily, for an AGM, we should consider the minutes of the last meeting. So, but that's not going to happen. That's exactly what I said. So, can we quickly consider the agenda and adopt it to guide us? Yes, Professor Adedosu. Hi, Professor Adedosu. Anybody supporting it? Yes, I can see your hand. Introduce yourself so that it can be properly recorded. Thank you very much. So we'll move on. Professor, I know from University of Maiduguri, but I didn't hear the name. Ahmad Umar. Okay. Umar. Then we have Professor Taufik Adedosu. So we'll move on. Now I will want to give a little update about the association. I think I did part of that in my presentation yesterday. But we have been through some crises. Of course, most of this not by our making. Circumstances forced us into these crises. We had a leadership change for the first time in 2015, and smoothly we've had conferences thereafter. We had in 2016, we had in 2017, we had in 2018. And unfortunately, we had issues about the secretariat. Then we had planned that we will hold this particular conference in Senegal in 2019. That was not to be. Senegal agreed to host us in November 2019. Then COVID arrived. So 2020, the first quarter, we had thought that we'd be able to hold the conference. It couldn't happen until now. And if you recall, the first announcement that we made, we were supposed to arrive here in the last week of August and have the conference the early part of September. Again, that had to shift. So that had actually been quite challenging for the association. Financially, it was problematic. We had to be paying salaries for the secretariat staff. We had to be paying some costs for running the secretariat, but we didn't have income, we didn't have any earning, we didn't have any activities whatsoever, except a few online meetings and the workshops that we tried to. So it's like we are in a rebuilding process, trying to rebuild this association, trying to put back the pieces to be able to get back on track. And like I have said over and over and over, for me, this is probably the best conference I would say I have attended in years. The reason being that the real stakeholders are here. And it's a thing of joy for me that this is happening. So we have to take ownership of this association and ensure that we rebuild and get the results that we want for this association. So whatever lapses you probably would have seen, they were not really intentional. They were not caused by us as an association. They were not caused by the executive, but circumstances beyond our control. So my hope is that moving forward, and of course, we're going to elect a new executive at this meeting. Moving forward, we will be able to strengthen this association. A lot of comments, side comments have come to my hearing, my notice, and they actually make me quite happy that it's like there is buy-in of stakeholders into this association. So hopefully we'll be able to build a truly sub-regional association moving forward. Now, we also requested that we put together a communique for this activity, which is normal for events like this. Again, inexperience of people who were put in charge of that. And I will request the Vice President to make a comment or two about it.
So, again, we apologize because we don't have a complete draft of the communique. I was trying to work on it, but between the time I had lunch and now I just got the document, there's no way I can present that communique. So we'll send it to you as an email attachment. But I can go through some of the headlines if necessary.
Is it possible for you to just give the highlights?
Yeah,
we may have people contributing to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So some of the highlights are that we agreed some of the actions that research managers should ensure that the knowledge generated is disseminated and the outputs are documented in the institution to measure the impact of the research. That's from the first day of the conference. That we need to advocate in our institutions for the inclusion of the legal team amongst the research management office to ensure that we build the capacity to handle complexities, research complexities. During the conference itself, we had conference day one, that we need to lobby more effectively for Francophone institutions for a more effective association. And we also had the welcome news of UCAD joining the association. So we established the review committee for proposals to ensure they are more competitive. Proposals should be prepared well ahead of the deadline. Facilitate study tours, exchanges in various networks represented. Associations to rethink and see research as a business, create room for innovation, and assess the innovations that can potentially be commercialized. Consultancies are a way of sharing our experiences across the network and generating additional income for research. And finally, on day one of the key messages was that a clear career path has emerged for research administrators and managers, and we can work to strengthen this function in our institutions and establish a community of practice. For today, big data opportunities within the consortium, such as analyzing data at MRC's data center, which will generate a relevant health data that can be generalized for the benefit of our countries and the sub-region as a whole. And we need to identify developing solutions and work towards a cohesive collaborative effort and not address things as a standalone problem. And then the global talent mentoring is an opportunity to boom the next generation. So those are some of the key things I think we got from that. But as we are all here, if there's anything you want us to add to that, we can as well do that.
Thank you very much. I think we have the sketches. This has to be
fleshed out.
Yes, made full. But I want to believe that you'll have some more comments on few additions to make. I have one or two to make. So can we have from the floor? Yes, Professor Adidu.
I think the first thing is that we
for establishment of research office and institution for easy administration of grant award.
Yeah, noted. Any more? But I think that for communiques, we need to have preambles. How did we arrive here? We need to appreciate and recognize our host. We need to talk about the opening ceremonies, activities of the opening ceremonies, comments that were made, goodwill messages. We need to talk about all of those. So I hope we can incorporate those into the community. Do we have any other? Yes, please. Oh,
not in this form.
I apologize that we have a lot of inexperience in some of these things. Yeah, those who are doing it are now old people, and some of them are no longer here. So we're really sorry about that. So, but she's going to share it with everybody, then we can make comments on it. I believe we'll create an email group for this meeting. I know that the WhatsApp group was started on Monday. I don't know if everybody is there. Is there anybody who is not on the WhatsApp group? Okay, so JP, please, you need to take the numbers. We created a WhatsApp group on Monday for ease of communication. So if you are not there, please make sure you are included. CJP and be included. Okay. Now yes, please. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we all understood what he meant. We all know that research management office is not about grants alone. It's about many things. It's about many things, including grants. So I'm sure we understand exactly what he wanted to say. So please, any more comments on the communique, any more addition? Yes, Professor Abba.
It is important to capture one important organization to communicate at the one.
Yes. Yes.
Number of
yes.
Participants.
Yes.
And if I can go further,
we're doing that at dinner tonight. We'll do that at dinner tonight. It's reflected in my speech, and I'm sure they'll capture parts of the communique from the speech that I did. We also have a special recognition we're going to do tonight. Yes.
Thank you, President WARIMA. I guess when we are rewriting or reviewing what has been submitted, we will not leave out the comments of the President during the opening ceremony, especially as it affects the need for the Francophone countries to be members of WARIMA. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I think it's one of the first points you raised. Okay, you know what? I will make the president's speech available to you so you can actually extract. It's already in the news anyway. It's been carried in social media, so you can extract. And yeah. So the next item on the agenda is a resolution to dissolve the executive. And I'll provide a background to this. I gave the history of how this association started, and I gave a little bit of information about the roles that institutions, individuals, countries have played in the history of this association. But we are at a very, very critical stage of this association, and I'm repeating it. We now have the real owners of the association seated at this meeting. But then, the real owners are new in the business. they are new in the vessel. So we have to be very, very tactful in the way we move on. This is like a transition period. And transition periods are always very delicate, whether it's the history of an institution or a country or even families. Transition periods are very, very delicate. And I just want to plead that we handle it very, very carefully, such that we will not derail again. I'm making this comment as somebody who knows a little bit about this association and somebody who has to step aside. And I am stepping aside as from the next few minutes, but I need to provide some pieces of advice. Democracy, very beautiful, but it doesn't solve all problems. Yeah, I want us to apply wisdom. I will invite comments from the floor about the way forward, but as much as possible, I want to plead that we should not rock the boat. I have some ideas, but I would also want to invite comments. I think I saw Nana's hand up. Then Nana, then, okay. After Nana, Professor Bankole. Then, yeah. Yes, please.
My name is, I am Nana, and I think we're at the critical point of this association. Over a decade that I've joined this association, and sharing from my experience, we've had two previous presidents from Nigeria, because WARIMA started from Nigeria, but we've grown beyond Nigeria. When it comes to in terms of numbers, we know that here Nigeria has. But if we are voting as WARIMA as an association, we vote by country per person. Those of us who started with us can bet that there are few of us that for some time laid low, and there are some people that we started up top because there is a perception out there that WARIMA belongs to Nigerians, and that is why you always have the executives, everything coming from Nigeria. I don't want to stress, but I think that it's time that we move or we change that perception so that we can have president coming from a different country. You want to bring the francophones and things on board. It's time we stop having our meetings from Ghana, the African, the English-speaking countries, and try to focus, try to attend or have our meetings in these French-speaking countries, as well as also change the perception that WARIMA belongs to Nigeria. Therefore, from where I stand, and from having one or two discussions, I think this time around, the presidency should move from Nigeria to a different country. I'm not saying that she goes to Nigeria. If you give it to me, I'll take it. But I think they should move from Nigeria so that at least the other countries will feel belong, so that we can bring other people. Yes, we can have still some Nigerians be part of the executive, but the president, by the top hierarchy, I think that other country members should take that position so that at least we'll have our systems to make sure that at least we open the scope of WARIMA. Thank you.
Okay, Professor Bankole, then I'm sorry I don't know the name, but up to you. I think you wanted to speak also. Yeah.
Mr. President, members of the WARIMA. It's just a quick question I want to ask. Does WARIMA has a constitution?
Oh, yeah. It's right here.
Yes, and
And
we
I was
have
going to say that every member will have a
then
copy.
we need to get ourselves what the Constitution says about election. Thank you.
More comments?
Like I say, my name is Obaji from Nigeria.
From?
Obaji.
From which?
From IBB University,
Oh, okay.
Nigeria.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we still need to expand the scope, the membership of WARIMA, and make it more global, not necessarily only West Africa. And I think that what the Debt Fund is doing or has done is one means to expand WARIMA membership and scope and reach. For example, and provide this to the executive. I was thinking we'll discuss with Debt Fund that some of the high value grants that have been coming up outside NRF, there must be a provision for a collaborator from a WARIMA membership of WARIMA country, WARIMA University. There was a project we were trying to do at one time, and because we're not member of AAU, African University, we lost that project. So we quickly had to go and register, and that made us to get that scope. So I am thinking that we can still use the instrumentality of Debt Fund and also the Nigerian position. I'm even thinking that for promotion to professor, it must be a member of a WARIMA. Okay. Not the requirement, but the criteria. We can have more members.
Please, let him speak.
So that people will rush to bid because there are many associations that we need to bid before we get the position apart from paper. So, if we do not rock the Constitution, if it will not cause any problem, and we may still want to do a little more with Nigeria, I would even suggest that the present executive be extended and be kept to manage the process until we establish and expand.
Well, we will get the present executive minus the president. So please, the president is not interested. So, but we have people who have been working day and night for the association. We may want to consider them, excluding me.
Okay, but some places.
The Constitution says 2 terms.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Well, one thing I like about revolution is that I like to start on a feminine basis. The first speaker spoke the mind of most of us West Africans. Because when I got to know about WARIMA, I thought of it as being both Anglo and Francophone. But if for the past 15 years, it's been the Anglophone that has been at the top of ends of affairs, one may get the wrong impression as she's saying that this is just for Nigerians. Because most of us from West African countries will know that besides Nigeria having over 200 universities, I don't think any of us in West African countries have 100, but we do not want this to be connoted to mean Nigerian University Association. Definitely not. And for that reason, I think what she suggested, again, I'm going to call it a feminine revolution. It's a good idea. And the idea is we want to bring in more of the other wings of West Africa. The Francophone countries need to play higher roles. And I'm hoping that maybe having one of them, or at least somebody who can speak French. Let me tell you what happened. When I first came here 3 days ago, I went to a place where they were just speaking French and Arabic. It was about one Sheikh Suleiman, somebody. You may be aware, it's going on just adjacent to us. I felt unwelcome because I was there for almost 30 minutes before I knew where to find my WARIMA group. And I know most of our Francophone mates can speak English, but honestly, let them also feel West Africa as we do in Nigeria. Yeah. Let them hear this thing, and I'm hoping that the present leadership, especially the president, will work with them so that things will continue to grow stronger and stronger, and we can be proud as West Africans. Again, we cannot say because of our large size, therefore we should be dominating forever. If we have had 15 years, I believe that is long enough. Thank you very much.
Okay. The feminine revolution has taken place and the masculine voice.
Yes.
Who suppress it. Yeah, but here's another student.
My name is Florence Abu from the University of Mines and Technology, Apadana. And I'm speaking on the back of what Bob just said, and also the submission form. The first point I want to make is that there's something they call freedom of association, and that's on the back of what Prof. The second speaker mentioned. Actually, no one can compel the other to join an association. So what we can do as an association is to advocate, make people know about the existence of the association. And by our deeds and our, influence here and there, we could bring in people into the fold. So that is for the second speaker's submission. And then I also agree with Nana and the professor who just spoke. But what I want to add is that as much as possible, let's look at regional balance. It is true that Nigeria has held the association for quite some time now, but it is always good to balance experience with expertise. So for me, yes, we could look at the top hierarchy of the association, but we should also not lose sight of the fact that we need to pull the experiences from the old executive, going forward, so that we present a strong presence on the ground. Thank you.
Another revolutionary word. Yes, that's another thing, and I hope it's also going to be revolutionary.
Thank you. I'm Bola Adeadenlua from University of Lagos. As much as I support the fact that maybe we should allow francophone or lusophone to air, I also think it's important, considering the history of the association, to still hold on to some of members of the executive, because many of us, I'm sure 90% of us here, don't know what has been happening to WARIMA. So in as much as we're trying to bring in certain people in, they are new, it's important that the top positions should be held by people who have been experienced within the existing executive, whether it's English speaking or French speaking. But as much as possible in the overall of the executive, we should try and just maintain a balance. Let there be francophone, lusophone, if they are here, not any other phone. Let's just be a balance. Thank you.
I'm so excited about this comment. This is scholarship. This is the academic culture that I know. Speaking boldly and fairly and firmly also. It looks like it is different from what we have heard. Okay. Okay. Yes, I don't know the name, so I apologize for that.
I'm Dr. Adesi Adesanya. Actually, I want to emphasize a little about what one of our previous speakers said regarding the Constitution. And the area my application will come from is for the Vice President. We can have 2 Vice Presidents.
That's what the Constitution says.
And what we have done is that one must be Anglophone, one must be Francophone. We've settled that. We've settled that. And the good thing also is that the one from Francophone we elected for the first time at the last one AGM. So it's still on board. his tenure has not ended. So that's a no-go area. Yeah, so I hope I'm speaking your mind.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Professor Abba, is it likely to be different from what we have heard? Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It is good in democracy to also have consensus. This is a one family. I want to see that at the end, we select or elect all the positions based on consensus.
We are coming to that. We're trying to establish the principle. And for me, I have my day. The fact that, you see, Nigeria is intimidating anywhere in the world, not just in West Africa. When Nigerians decide to invade a place, they invade it forcefully. And I'm so happy with the comment I have heard that we want others to have a sense of belonging. Yes, I didn't want to be the one saying it, but I think that has been said and that has been established. And I don't think we should go back on that. The next step will be who and who. And I'll also want you to consider something to me, maybe a piece of advice based on what I think I know, and I want to be very fair and sincere with this very important group. Yes, Prof, your hand again. If you say something different, you know you have lost to, because okay. Yes.
My name is Professor Moses. I'm from Federal University of Nigeria. From all the discussion that is going on, sir, I want to make this suggestion. I belong to one association in Nigeria, we call it Nigerian Site of Engineers. What we do in that association is that whenever we elect our president, we also have, just like you said in the constitution, another 2 vice presidents. So, and they have hierarchy. So the vice president that are already elected, they are president in waiting. So in the next AGM, automatically, those vice presidents transit to the president. So I
No. You know why this will work? You know, we are engineers. You have a body made up of people from different colleagues, different countries, different institutions. So we need to be very careful. As much as we want to play by consensus, we also want excellence. Yeah, so you don't say because somebody has been vice president, so even if he's of no use, he becomes the next president. It's not politics. So thank you very much. So I guess that's been settled. Now I will provide some information or some pieces of information, so to say. We have 2 vice presidents, one francophone, one anglophone. Aisha Mohammed, who has served 2 terms and who told me that she's had enough. Yes. Yeah, we have big guys in the association and people who are committed, sincere people who are ready to work selflessly for the association. Then we also have Malik, unfortunately indisposed, so he couldn't come. But like I said, his tenure hasn't ended. So that one's a no-go area. Okay. Then, yes, it's from Ivory Coast, right? Now, presidency, we need to take a decision on that. And I think what we have always done in this association, I can't remember there was any time we held election in the real sense of it. I never planned to be president. Someone had been nominated, and the person said, why not this person who has been serving this association as secretary for so long, who has institutional memory, who is committed? And that's how I became president. I never signified that I wanted to be president. So we'll start with presidency by consensus. And I think we should request for nominations. Oh, okay. Yes, you Guide me, please, guide me.
The procedure was
Oh, we have not dissolved. Okay, the moment you dissolve, it means I'll have to vacate here. Please dissolve it. Dissolve it. Okay. Electoral committee. How do we go about that now? Can I, you see, we have a vice chancellor here. And apart from being vice chancellor, I think I have an idea of the number of years and months. Very important. The number of years and months. So that's also very important. Do we agree on the consensus basis that Professor Suleiman Agi should be the chairman of the electoral committee? Or is it the sole administrator? Okay. Thank you, sir. So can someone move for the dissolution of this house? Who is moving? I'm still the chairman. Okay, who's supporting? Thank you. Over to you, sir. Do I give you? Thank you, sir. Is any of that staying on? Any of that? So please, I'm coming back as president. Thank you all. No. I'll make the same claim that Professor Koko just made. You chose me for this. I don't. But I'm trying to be as upright and as straightforward as possible. Let's have nomination for the position of president.
Wait, can we announce the backup position?
All the backup. Okay. The only position from what the immediate past president said that is presently still occupied is that of the vice chancellor. Yes, sir. Okay, you are still on. You are still in the hall. Don't worry. From what you have just said, the position of Francophone vice president is still active. It's not being contested for. It's the other positions that we are going to be nominating people for. And I'm going to read the positions that are available. That of the president, vice president, Anglophone, general secretary, assistant general secretary, financial secretary, treasurer, and auditor. Those are the positions we are going to be nominating people for. And we start with that of the position of president. Nominations, please. Okay, sir.
We know the people that have like strong memory, first. So that you can nominate.
Well,
so that we don't introduce no faces into this portfolio.
Okay, I can say that to some extent, we are all not newcomers to this meeting. Some of them that have been around know each other. And what I want is, before somebody is nominated, my belief is that that person probably has an idea whether he or she wants to serve in that position. If you are nominated and you are not interested, you can always say so. I believe so.
Nomination.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm coming, sir.
I am Professor Basi Ibrigoko. from the University of Calabar, Nigeria,
Yes, sir.
and nominate Dembo Kante.
Supported.
Noted. Thank you.
I think that I had wanted to say that people should indicate interest. For example, it doesn't make any sense if you nominate somebody and he stands up and says he's not interested. No, people should indicate interest.
They are free to do that, though. We know that. Any other nomination?
No. This nomination, has it been agreed that it excludes Nigeria?
We said that.
Yes. Are the other positions, do they have countries attached to them?
No. But we should try to balance the distribution to West Africa. Let it not speak Nigeria by volume, please. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and Nigeria documentation, we still need to raise up our hands and can't, so that it will be properly.
If you are having no more nomination, let me please, if there are not going to be new nominations, can we simplify when we visit them? If we agree with them of Kante, can we simplify that document? Thank you very much. No. Thank you, Nana. You have majority. Thank you. Thank you. Now, for the next nomination, it has to be from Lipophone, Anglophone, but it cannot be Francophone candidate. And that is for the position of Vice President. Let's have nomination, please.
Sir,
yes.
I want to question the procedure as people have, yes, Dembo Kante have been nominated. As chairman, we're supposed to ask and clarify if there is any other person that is.
At least I asked for that. Nobody indicated.
Yes.
I'm coming. Yes, sir. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Let me hear from you. Yes, sir. For which one? Okay, please wait. Let me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Have we resolved the position of president is resolved as far as I'm concerned? Yeah. Thank you. No?
Yes. My name is Jean-Pierre Ndisson from Senegal, and I would like to nominate Absala for the position of vice president.
Yes. Okay, don't worry, because we have resolved the position of president. Thank you, sir. Now, the only thing we have to bear in mind is that whoever we are nominating for vice president this time cannot be Francophone. So let's
somebody is asking, has Dembo Kante accepted to be a candidate?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I mentioned that if you are nominated and you are not interested, you can simplify. And you did not, so we assume that you agree. Thank you very much. Having said that, let's have nominations for vice president again. Yes, sir.
I am stepping down for my sister, Professor La.
Okay.
Stepping down.
So you
Okay. Is that okay with all of us? Yes. No more nomination. Thank you very much. And from which country? I'm sorry to say that.
Nigeria.
Okay. Dembo, please, which country, please? Gambia. Thank you. Okay, then the next position is that of General Secretary. Yes, sir.
Professor Ademola, nominating Professor Owaje.
Okay. Accepting nomination, yes, sir.
Yes, Professor Bamikole. I stand to second that nomination.
Thank you.
My name is I nominate Elizabeth Bashiri.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So that our secretary.
Okay. Another one? Yes, sir.
I nominate the lady for the University of Ghana. Nana.
We have 3 nominations here, sir. Yes, ma'am. Of Nana, okay. Well, all right. Now we have 3 candidates, and first nominee is Owade. The other one is Patili Dagira. Elizabeth.
We should know them.
Okay, let's see the faces. Owade, please. Let's see you. Owade. From Owade. Ade. Thank you, sir. Oh. Thank you, ma'am. Then Elizabeth Bettini. You decline. Thank you, ma'am. You decline? Okay. That is also unopposed then. Thank you, ma'am. Professor Owaje. Then we have the position of Assistant General Secretary. Nominations, please. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. I stand to nominate Nana.
Okay, thank you. This should go to Francophone. Well, look, the idea is to have about 4 at the end of the day. We are still online, or at least we are still going. The thing is, I've had 1 Nigerian, no, 2 Nigerians, 1 Gambian, and I believe Nana is from Ghana. That is distribution. It's all right. Is there any other nomination?
I have not heard from the Francophone yet.
We are going to. No.
One here. And you have one. I think you see how eloquently how he speaks with passion. In one correction, this is the possibility.
Okay. So, Nana, unopposed. Thank you. It's Nana. Nana. Okay, thank you. Okay, the next position is that of Financial Secretary. Yes, sir. All right. Another one, sir? Yes, sir. raise your hand. The man in cap. Okay. Is that yes, sir? I'm coming to you, sir.
I don't know whether I should do it, but because I have not registered, but I want to nominate Jane Ferrer.
I'm quite good at it, but I have the best option, and may I take advantage to nominate my little auntie, who is very good at it, for the role she has played, Elizabeth Stanley Bachi.
All right. Bakili, are you in the house? Are you okay? Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And Elizabeth Bakili, which country is that, please? It's also a Francophone.
We are so small.
Anglo. Wow. Okay. So I must speak out at this point to say that we want some Francophone. And the next position is that of treasurer. Yes, sir.
Yes. Even though we've met a few days, but I would like to nominate Professor Kende Taiwo. We are not many.
So I think the challenge here is that we have only one francophone guy sitting down. So that's the challenge we have, and we all can see where his skill set lies.
Yes.
In terms of the public relations that we have.
So
that's why I want to nominate him. The thing with
for public relations,
the secretariat is an Ibadan in Nigeria. And to look at the financial transaction, we need a Nigerian to be able to support the secretariat. So that's a structural issue, and that's why I believe that it will be good for the treasurer.
okay, so, but are you accepting that one?
No, it's
That of PRO, I'm saying.
yes.
Somebody's already. You are ready. So. So, yes, we said Elizabeth Batin. Elizabeth, that's what we said. No, there are two left. Elizabeth is financial secretary, according to. We have two positions left, that of treasurer and auditor. No, and he said he didn't want it. Yes, please do, sir. You are very welcome.
I want to, yes, Taiwo fine, but there is thoughts going through my mind. Everybody has been talking about platform.
Yes.
And the critical role it can play.
Yes.
Why not ask our assistant treasurer?
Is she a member?
Yes. She will be a member. I will say how you make up the right way.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. And is she accepting?
Yes.
Okay. Treasurer.
Yes.
Still president.
Okay, still president.
Abuja, yes. We want trust, and you're always in touch with those who have information. What we want is, man, what is needed is trust. If you believe in you, please go ahead and work with it. Thank you. Thank you. And you promise to pay the registration. Okay, then we need somebody for auditor. You know, we set out in the beginning to say we want to have balance. Are there non-francophone country members with us? No, I don't like the abstention aspect of it. Because it will have been lovely if we have another francophone person. Beside Ghana, Gambia, Nigeria, where we have Ivory Coast, do you have any other country? Senegal. Okay, we want a Senegalese then.
Yes, it makes sense.
No, for auditor.
No, Senegalese is
We are looking for one person from Senegal. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This university has hosted this conference.
Yes.
And it's a critical for membership this year.
Yes.
I think we should have that for this year.
Yes. It's a good idea, but can we have a person? Can we leave it, on that basis?
Yeah, the ESCO can appoint someone.
Okay, that would be great.
You have to give the ESCO the mandate.
Yeah, we have now.
No, don't say we have, there has to be a resolution.
Okay.
Okay, well, again, we set out saying that we want the distribution to be as widespread as possible. And on that basis, I'm pleading with the ESCO to have somebody local to Senegal be the auditor. They can choose a credible person that can be trusted to work with the station.
I support the chairman of the LOC.
Thank you. I don't know him, but is that well? Let the ESCOs help us with that.
Yes.
Already I'm having a suggestion, but you can do a better job when you get together. Somebody has a hand up there.
Yes, I have.
Okay, you do. Yes,
I just
sir.
want to ask a question. Looking at our constitution,
Yes,
is there no position for ex-official members?
There is one. Yes, there is one.
Okay, since the immediate past president is going to be there.
They will put it down as the immediate past president.
Okay.
Well, you are now, because I'm going to step aside after announcing the names.
Then I will take back my chair.
You have lost it too. Thank you. Let me announce what I have there. Thank you, everybody. We have for the position of President Dembo Monte. Kante. And it's from Gambia. Then for Anglophone Vice President, we have Patricia La from Nigeria. Thank you. In absentia and still holding on to the position of Francophone Vice President is Malik Bakayoko. Thank you, from Ivory Coast. Then for Secretary General, we have Professor Emin Owagi, Nigeria. Assistant Secretary General, we have Nana Oye. from Ghana. For the position of treasurer, we have Professor Taiwo Kennedy. Well, we have Elizabeth, sorry, I made a mistake. Elizabeth Batili.
No, that's financial secretary.
Then my record is mixed up. Wait a minute. Treasurer.
Treasurer is Dr. Mrs. Comfort.
Ah, yes, at the bottom. Sorry. I crossed one name out and it was listed as well. Professor Comfort Oni.
Doctor.
She's doctor. Okay.
Yes, Comfort.
Okay. She's there.
Right here.
Please forgive me. You are here. Then for the position of public relations unopposed, JP Ngeru. Okay. Thank you. And it's from two countries listed, Senegal and Ivory Coast. Okay, Ivory Coast. All right.
Yeah, who's Senegal? Otherwise, my boss will be hungry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, for the position of auditor, we said we should leave that to the ESCOs to pick a local person, a Senegalese, to be the auditor. National Secretary, I have Elizabeth Maki.
Correct.
And she's here, I hope. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the last 3 days, sir, what has come out of this conference is that the youth are not doing well, and you need to be mentored. I mean, I feel that this would have been an opportunity for you to mentor. If we have one opportunity, but maybe not now, maybe next time we should begin to think of we need to do more.
All right. That comment is noted and well taken. But let me suggest the way I think the mentees can learn from the old guards. There's going to be a lot of subcommittees that they are going to be asking you to partake in. Please do. That will give you a chance to know more about the association and you can develop with the association. But it's well noted. On that basis, I'll step aside and invite Dembo Kante to please take over from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. It is tradition in WARIMA that once a new executive comes in, they all come and sit with the president on the high table. So can I invite the rest of the executive to come and join me, please?
The women are taking over. From 35% it is now 80%.
Welcome to the change.
You have left amongst women.
I think I need to thank all of you for the confidence that you have in me and the confidence that you have in the rest of the SQ that you have just elected to run the affairs of WARIMA for the next few years. I've been involved with WARIMA from 2015. I think, some people ask me, do you really work for WARIMA or work for West Africa many times? And I tell people I have a commitment to see to the engagement that goes on between the MRC as a British northern institution in the Gambia and the rest of the research groups that are growing within institutions in West Africa. I think WARIMA fits very much into my current responsibilities at MRC. And I can promise you that I, together with the rest of the team here, will do everything possible to make WARIMA stronger and stronger and stronger. This is just a short address, and I cannot finish without thanking the president. What's the definition? How should I call it now?
IPP.
I think when I joined WARIMA, it was very much centric around Ibadan and Nigeria. And the University of Ibadan supported. The president made initiatives through his contacts, and that's where the engagements with SARIMA have started. The engagements through the SARIMA Science Grant Council's initiative we did for a number of years, and that's where the relations with the African Academy of Sciences have also started, up to the point where the African Academy of Sciences decided to fund a position in the Secretariat and all of the work that we have done through that funding to develop the website. In addition to that, I mean, the thing that intrigues me most about him is that he'll put his own money and put it on the table whenever we run into financial difficulty, and then he'll be like, you can pay me. But you give money to somebody who has money, and then some of it, I think we still owe him actually. The registration, he paid it from his own money. Some of the air tickets for some of the executive members to come here were things that he actually paid. I think he deserves a big round. My boss, you want to say something? We give you a chance for one last word.
Want to say something?
Yes.
Something? Okay, I wish you well.
It's a bit unfair because you are a member of the executive. You should be joining us.
It's okay. I think I want to thank this association for this wonderful evening. I wish the whole of Africa were like this. I mean, to do just what we have done. Decently, no rancor, no bitterness. And we have selected from amongst ourselves those who will lead us. That's the way things should be. So I want to appreciate everyone and I want to congratulate you. My belief is that you put them there, they will be your enemies. They will work for you, they will work with you. There are people around, Professor Duola, myself, other people who will support you. We can be assured of that, within and outside of West Africa. So I want to wish you all the very best. Thank you.
So it's my responsibility now to complete the rest of the agenda. The next item on the agenda is date and venue of the next WARIMA conference. So in the drive to, you could see the operational challenges that we've had hosting WARIMA here. I work both in Gambia and Senegal, and I've got one vehicle with me that we use. But for this WARIMA, I had to bring in 4 additional vehicles to help us with the logistics. Okay? I mean, I can't tell you the amount of commitment that my organization has also put in to ensure that we host WARIMA here. So we will be committed to hosting WARIMA in the Gambia. Okay. Now, but in our effort to engagement is not easy. Sometimes you go to people, they don't really understand you, and they don't listen to you. But you have to see the big picture in the reason why you're doing engagement. So I think you leave with the exco to explore the possibility of holding it in Mali next year. And if that doesn't work, then we will revert back to the Gambia. How does that sound?
Excellent.
Professor Abba?
My chairman, sorry, president for the election, and all other members elected. I think for logistics, I say and the next WARIMA, WARIMA in Gambia. For logistics.
Okay, I think that's a valid point. With my friend, obviously on the one-time platform, we do engage with a lot of institutions, and we've got 3 to 4 institutions in Mali that we are partnered with. We think they will, certainly I take note of the comment that you've said. And that, at any point we think Mali will not work, we'll revert back to Gambia. But we will make sure that we do that in good time so that we put the notice of the date of the annual general meeting, next one, as quickly as possible for all of us to start the planning well ahead of time. Come again? The month of the next.
I say it's normally November.
It's normally November.
Yeah, November, Gambia is fine. The weather is cool. Yeah, we are doing elections in December. Hopefully by then there will be a new government in the Gambia. Everything will be fine. Okay. November of next year. Somebody suggested the last week of November 2022.
Are you not exploring Libani again?
We are.
So we will explore Mali, and Mali, November is fine. Yes. The weather is perfectly fine, even in Mali. So let's go with last week of November 2022. Within the next 1 or 2 months, we will explore the possibilities of Mali, and then we'll come back to you. We are aware of the limitations on how much people can pay for accommodation. Because for me, that's the most, it's always been the most tricky element that we've not been able to crack. People pay their subscriptions fine, but when it comes to how much money people can pay for accommodation, it's the one that makes our logistics in Gambia, in here, very, very difficult. So we'll consider that in view of the options and the price ranges that we know, whether it can work. If it doesn't work within 2 months, we'll make up a decision and then we'll let you know. Okay? So November, what is the Monday? 21st is the Monday. So November 21st to the 24th is the proposed date for the next WARIMA conference. November 21st to the 24th.
Monday.
Yeah,
Arrival will be
20th.
Sunday.
That would be
Oh, we have a very beautiful Gambia. The sun is there. The beaches are nice. If you want to come early, you can come early. Early, actually. Early, actually. And obviously, MRC will be hosting. I think the logistics are slightly better there. We've got significant accommodation on camp. Transportation will not be an issue at all in and out of the airport. So I think we should have a lovely, better hosting arrangements that we are doing. And then we'll be able to engage the University of the Gambia as well, so that we can also have more participation. We brought in the guys from the Ministry of Higher Education in the Gambia, because again, we want them to be exposed. I mean, I think, I always tell them, we are micro players and they are macro players. If the macro player doesn't understand what the micro player is doing, the micro player is the only one who will suffer, because they have the decisions, they have the power at the top. And that was an advocacy element for them also to understand what we are trying to achieve across. So I think with the university coming on board, the ministry on board, we'll have a strong and effective conference sometime in the Gambia too, or in Mali. Okay, thank you all very much for that. Are there any AOBs?
Dinner 7 p.m.
So I think we'll honor the invitation from the rector. I've got 38 names here. If you have not added your name, please add your name. It is at Jean-Pierre Web.
Point.
Casino du Point.
That's correct. Casino du Cap. Casino du Port. Yes. Yes, it is downtown at the port. Yeah, near the Central Bank.
Okay.
Yes.
So what time are we supposed to meet there?
Well, they promised to provide the bus. Our buses are the so I guess it's advisable for us to hang around here instead of going to
But those who are downtown, those who are downtown can even walk.
What time will be that?
Those who are living downtown, it's a walking distance.
Prof,
7.
what time did they agree for dinner? 7 o'clock? 7 p.m.
Now 4:30.
Okay. So I think those who can find their way there to the venue, we all agree to meet there at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
For those who will be taking the bus, maybe the president is like, you wait here and then you take the bus. Come here. Yeah.
So
okay. Any other AOB? Yes.
Team. Is about the fact that I'm having a vision that WARIMA would be multilingual, at least bilingual. So I think in the next AGM conference, there should be a session either for learning French or for learning Portuguese or
Espanol.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Your point is noted.
El próximo WARIMA hablaremos español.
Get it right.
Yeah, I think we should do something with our website. It's not really nice. Another thing is we should also consider having a page, a drop page for a list of members, individual members, institutional members, because it gives a lot of weight. If somebody is looking, maybe I should join or not, and then goes through your membership list. If they find University of Lagos as an institutional member, it might make last week to say, we too, we are going to join. So it's a very good way to
Absolutely.
I start my job this night.
Chibuzo, you hear that one? You hear her? So I don't know if you want to just make a comment on what we have done on membership and how far you want that to go.
Okay. So far we decided to create membership numbers. I have numbers like unique ID numbers for individuals and institutions to like identify everyone. And so we have University of Support, University of Computer, University of China, but like well registered tentatively because they're paying their fees. But we have things I gave them a few number based on like past administration, future activities, like just get the financial cases. So we have that on ground, especially for the institution. So if you want to register, we have Professor Okon who has registered, and we have a institution. So we also take institution memberships, and then we give you a unique number for your membership. For institutions, when you register, you are entitled to 6 delegates from your institution, and that's 200 USD. And register as a single person and individual, you also get your unique ID number for Thank you.
Okay, but back to Adejilo's comment. So, you know, we've been working on this. So we've designed, you know, for each person, we've given them individual IDs. We need to put it on the website so that when people go in and they realize that Professor Labode Popola is a member, then they realize that this is a very serious institution that they need to become members of. I think that's our point. So that's something we should do very, very quickly as a resolution out of this conference. Yes, my sister.
Since you are talking of the content of the website, I'm wondering if it wouldn't be if the website can be publishing grant opportunities, both for individual research and for university research. Sometimes there are some grant opportunities for individuals, even for PhD students, for masters students. For those of us that have the younger people that are
I think as the president said, now you have got research managers in your executive. It's one of the things that we have tried to load up. I think there were technical difficulties from the guy dealing with the website as to how the information flows. But I think the bigger issue was the capacity limitations in the secretariat and even in the executive. I mean, you know, in 2015, there was a similar executive elected in. By the end of the day, it ended up something like only 4 or 5 people actually running the association. With this full team here, you can bet that you're gonna get something really, really good. I'm not promising a Sarima type situation after 1 or 2 years, but we will really, really be good. Yeah. Any other comment? Yes.
Thank you very much, President. I think it's very, very important and necessary because when we came in on Sunday, up to Monday, we were very skeptical about what we are going to experience here. I think at the end, it has been a huge success. We need to appreciate WARIMA very specially for this. We're talking of conference activities. This has been fully packed, and your resource persons are very, very wonderful. Honestly, we've learned a lot, and you may not appreciate what you have done now until you begin to see the effect of these are participation at various universities. By going back loaded, you can be sure that we're going to implement what we have learned here in our various universities. So, WARIMA, on behalf of all the participants, we want to say a big thank you to you. It's also important that we appreciate again TEDFund. If you look at the percentage based on the number that Tedford has sponsored, it will be highly significant. When we say we appreciate TED Fund, we should single out the ES of TED Fund, ES Bogoro. Research is central to development. I think Professor Bogoro has been a blessing to our country. He has been a blessing to our generation. I pray that God will continue to prosper him. And also grant him long life with good health, so that he will see the fruit of all what he has labored for in our dear country, Nigeria. By the grace of God, we are looking towards next year, November. You can be sure that with what we have learned here, we are so excited. I'll begin to save our media salary towards that conference by the grace of God. Thank you very much.
When the prof's hand is up, you give chance to hit him.
I deliberately refuse to speak most of these, the deliberations. That's because I'm a retired professor. But I've had discussions with these team members. And after the election, believe me, I think with this team, they were the resource persons. And during all the lectures, I actually became a student. So I think this is a solid team for WARIMA. What I discussed with them is that we need to sensitize West Africa about WARIMA, what they're doing, and also to try and get the other stakeholders to participate in WARIMA. And I think this is really, really a great team. And I'm sure that when I get back home, I will discuss with my research constituency and ask them to make sure they link up with WARIMA so that we have both the university component and also the research institutions to strengthen WARIMA. So congratulations to a very great team.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Congratulations. I just want to make some quick observations. Second attendance in WARIMA. I want to make a suggestion about mobilizing very critical stakeholders. At the last WARIMA conference at Ibadan, I met Dr. Malete, the Alliance for African Partnership. If you need from there to attend WARIMA, during the last 3 weeks, I met Rebecca Ward. Rebecca Ward is the senior technical assistant to IREX. And she asked a question that, are you attending WARIMA in Senegal? And she is affiliated with the IREX and by extension to the Carnegie Group. And then we have others, by extension, Arua. So these are groups monitoring the activities of WARIMA as a very, very strong body within the ECOWAS sub-region. So how to systematically mobilize this group, they are waiting. Best of luck.
Thank you. Those are points noted. Florence.
I want to find out if the conference proceedings will be published and the presentation. Regarding the content of the website, I'm wondering if you have an app on the hotline on the website where we could, highlight big projects that are being managed by members of the association. Because these funding agencies are very much excited when they know that you are highlighting them and the support that they are giving to us. So if we could even create a portal where we have these projects that are running, that are giving some sort of highlights on the project themselves and also the funding agent, it will also help to open it.
Thank you. Mutala.
Yeah, thank you. I am not from MRC. So I'm not clear what the Constitution says about whether you have an advisory committee.
No, we don't have an advisory committee as such, but then the Constitution understands that you need to have some continuity. So the immediate past presidents are ex-officio members of the executive actually. So they serve as the sort of wise counsel. They don't talk that much, but the few words that they say really matter. Yeah. Yes, Tom.
The association has a board of trustees.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And without them, we couldn't have registered.
Sure. Okay. Without any more comments, thank you all, and hopefully I'll see all of you in Banjul. Can somebody move for adjournment, please? Seconded by Florence. No. So Badu is the IT guy. If he wasn't here, I would have been struggling. So what is suggesting, because the website, we've contracted someone, and so if you have to work on uploading all of this, then it may take a little bit of time. So Badu has indicated he will create a Google folder of some kind, and then he's going to share around all of the stuff inside. So look out for that in the next 1 week or two. You'll get everything. I will promise you. So everybody here who attended the workshop will get a certificate, and who came to the conference also will get a certificate. Now, I think we are moving in the technology age. We promised to send these things to you by email. Okay? Yeah, we promise to send you those by email. We also reaffirm the promise that Professor Popola made in relation to the bags. It's amiss. The quality that was delivered to us was absolutely poor. We promise that we are going to make up for that promise and then ensure that you all get your conference bags. Thank you all very much. Thank you.